Hello again, my name is Rodney Reynolds and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the Asetek Waterchill. What is included in this package are a number of things like screws, bolts, springs, etc. You also get 3 water blocks, one for a video card, one for the chipset, and one for the CPU. Also included is some anti-algae fluid. This goes in with some distilled water. You also get a pump. This is the high door L30. It pumps 320 gallon per hour of water. Also, the tank or reservoir. You get a 120 millimeter fan and the rad and tubing, a power cable, and a very detailed user manual. Each one of these water blocks has a very distinctive look. It has a clear acrylic top and a solid copper base, and each one of these are shipped with a plastic sticker on the base, and that's to protect that smooth copper base from being dented or scratched. And as you can see here, each one of these does have a very smooth base, and that's going to allow great contact between it and what it's going onto. Now let's first here have a look at the water block for the CPU, and this can fit on the socket 478, the socket A, or the socket 754. This here is the water block for the video card, and this will fit just about any video card on the market. And right here is the water block for the chipset, and again this can fit on AMD motherboards or Intel motherboards. The pump that is included in this package is the high door L30. It pumps around 320 gallons of liquid per hour. It also comes fitted with a control unit. This control unit has a power cable which actually goes to the back of your case. It plugs right into your power supply. Then you can plug the power cable right into that. There's also another power connection right here, and this one goes directly into your power supply. That's here, so when you turn your computer system on, this water cooling rig will turn on automatically. Right here we have a jumper. This jumper will control the fan speed from 7 to 12 volts. You have 2 settings, and right here is where the fan gets connected. The radiator that is included is fairly large. It's designed to mount very easily inside of a case. Also, they include a Sun-On 120 millimeter fan. That fan pushes around 83 CFMs, and a full speed is 2,300 RPMs. This fan gets mounted on the rad like so with 4 screws. Then you take the unit and put it in a suitable location inside your case. The reservoir is very small and compact, and it should fit in just about any case. As I mentioned earlier, this is the CPU water block, and it can be installed either on a socket 478A or 754. There are different holes for this, but first of all, you have the inlet right here and the outlet right here. And for the socket 478, the holes are right here. For the socket A, they're right here. And for the socket 754, they're right here. Installing this CPU water block either on a socket 478, socket A, or socket 754 is extremely easy. However, today I'm going to be showing you how to install it on a socket 478. First of all, remove the plastic retention bracket on the motherboard. Next, go ahead and carefully place the CPU into the socket, and then apply some thermal compound to the CPU. Next, you'll need to turn over the motherboard and insert 4 screws, but first put these plastic washers over the screws and push them all through the motherboard so they protrude up through on the other side. Next, go ahead and screw these 4 guides on over these screws. And now go ahead and place the CPU water block down through these 4 guides. Next, take these 4 springs and insert them through the guides on top of the water block. Then go ahead and take these finger screws, first putting a plastic washer on each of them, and screw them down into the guides. And make sure that you do tighten it down nice and secure so it makes great contact with the CPU. The installation procedure of the chipset water block will depend upon what motherboard you have. If you have a motherboard that has mounting holes, then you can use the included springs, screws, washers, and finger screws. Otherwise, you can use these cable ties to attach the chipset water block. I'm using a socket 478 motherboard here, which does not have any mounting holes around the chipset, so I will need to use these cable ties to attach the chipset water block. First of all, remove the existing heatsink or cooler that's on the chipset. You'll need then to just clean things off here on the chipset, then apply some thermal compound, and next carefully place the chipset water block on the chipset like so, and just tighten each one of these evenly to make sure that the chipset water block is securely on top of your chipset. The video card water block can be installed on just about any video card on the market. First, remove the heatsink or cooler that's on the video card. Next, remove any of the gunk that's left over on the GPU, and then apply some fresh thermal compound. Next, carefully place the water block on top of the GPU. Next, go ahead and use these bolts to go right through that water block, through the video card, onto the other side. Now, you'll need to put these plastic washers on over the bolts first, push them all the way through again to the other side of the video card. Then, on the other side, you'll be attaching these finger screws, also springs and washers to fasten it to the video card. When connecting the reservoir to the pump, make sure first of all you cut a 5.5 centimeter or 2¼ inch piece of tubing. And when you're cutting the tubing, make sure you cut it correctly. Do not cut it at an angle. Try and cut it as straight as you possibly can. Then take that piece of tubing and connect it from the reservoir right here to the pump right here. And now that the reservoir is connected directly into the pump, you'll notice that it kind of just hangs here. Well, they include a piece of metal with double-sided tape on this side. Peel it off and stick it underneath the reservoir, and that will just keep everything straight and secure. Also, the fittings on every piece of this system is designed very easily. There's no twist ties or anything required when you're connecting the tubes into the reservoir, the pump, or the water blocks, or the rad. You just simply go ahead here and push the tube in, make sure it's in all the way, and just pull it back to make sure that it's in all the way. Next, measure the lengths of tubing that you're going to need for your specific system. Then go ahead and make all the connections. The diagram in the manual does assist in this. Now, I'm just going to show you how I have it set up here so you can understand exactly where the water is coming from and where it's going. It comes out here at the top of the pump, goes into the rad, from the rad into the CPU water block. From there it goes into the chipset water block. From there it goes into the video card water block. From the video card water block it goes into the reservoir. From the reservoir it goes back into the pump, and that continues over and over. When filling the system up, you need to mix this anti-algae fluid with 1 liter of distilled water. Next, remove this finger screw here at the top of the reservoir and just pop the top off. Next, pour a little bit of water into the reservoir and turn the power on, and keep pouring water into the system until it's full. Next, wait until all the bubbles are out of the system, then place the cap back on the reservoir and screw in the finger screw. As my results show, this does a great job at cooling the CPU, the chipset, and the GPU. Also, you got 2 modes with this, 12 volt or 7 volt. 12 volt means the fan is going to be maxed out, a little louder. 7 volt means the fan is going to be a little tiny bit quieter, but it's going to increase the temperatures around 2 to 4 degrees on everything. But overall, this is a kick-ass product. Again, my name is Rodney Reynolds, and this has been another video review. Be sure to check back very soon. I will have a brand new one for you then. Also, pop into my website at www.3dgameman.com. And while you're there, you can go into the forums and register. And remember, registration is completely free. Also, keep in mind, you can find out a lot more on this product in the forums. Until the next time, take care.